afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, another glorious Propagandacast from the host, Imperial Dane. We shall be watching CobrasFumenetes fighting for the Americans, fighting for the 2nd Infantry Division. Opposing them shall be Paracaidistas, fighting for the Wehrmacht, fighting for the 1st SS Panzer Division Leibstandarte. We are seeing a standard start out there. Barracks, 2 engineers or 2 pioneers from both players, both working hard on getting either the Wehrmacht quarters or the barracks up first. Both are also at the edge of the base. That is good. Again, means the troops have less time to move. Or the Wehrmacht quarters are slightly behind. And we are seeing a Jeep first out from CobrasFumenetes. So slightly less standard there. He's in fact going for some disruption early on to disrupt the Wehrmacht's capping order, to cause them some confusion and perhaps force Paracaidistas to sort of divert some forces to contain matters. We'll of course have to see how that one works out fully. Of course, the also question becomes, what will Paracaidistas himself get from his Wehrmacht quarters? But there we go, the Willys Jeep is out, used by many forces throughout the war. Soviets amongst others, even the Germans, if they actually managed to capture some. And there we go, we're actually seeing an MG42 out there. That's going to limit a bit how much territory he can take, and of course how much fast he can advance. Why going up here again? A bit of a sort of, toss up if you want to sort of decide, because it can easily be disrupted or dealt with if the engineers move out and cut the wire. If Rifle arrive, on the other hand, you're safe. Usually I prefer just laying down a mine when I get the munitions for it, but again, that's a matter of your own choosing. And of course, Paracaidistas is going to be forced to use the MG42 here, and of course he can more safely do it here, but at the same time, as soon as he advances a bit further, he's going to be running into problems. Bike out. Rifle scored out for CobrasFumenetes. And of course the problem is, the MG42, once if it gets engaged while taking a point, it can't really do much, because as soon as another unit is within range to engage the MG42, the MG42 is largely also not really able to set up, for the most part, to actually throw back the enemy. Of course, the bike is here now. That's going to help. That's going to give the MG42 crew much needed line of sight. Keep moving up, rising straight into the MG42s on the bike and on the tripod mount. Almost down to half health. Not looking good. Engineers moving up there, although with the sounding of the MG42-5, of course, they might decide to play a bit more cautiously. And we are seeing it towards the west here. The American riflemen going to connect this territory while the engineers deal with the more bountiful resources. And yeah, looks like he might be forced to use the MG42 again to take a point. Although we do see some infantry arriving for Paracaidistas. Die Volksgrenadiere. Advancing up the west side, pioneers moving up there. That could soon result in engagement. Right hand side being secured by the Wehrmacht. MG42 might take up a blocking position within the house to cover this area and this. Volksgrenadiers heading into town, stopping by the cafe. Looks like they're going to make a small addition, laying down some sandbags to further fortify it. And we are seeing engineers and the Jeep moving up to flank, although right here the Volksgrenadiers are going to have the advantage. Heavy cover, and the engineers are definitely not close enough to really get any sort of usefulness out of their submachine guns. They do as much damage as the Volksgrenadier and the Pioneer MP40s, but they are considerably less accurate. So that's the slight problem. But we do see that CobrasFumenetes flanks the position, although so far the Volksgrenadiers get out of it nicely. The engineers on the other hand suffered 2 losses. Another rifle squad tries to flank, but the MG42 within the house on the small island has managed to successfully throw back the rifle squad, thus successfully covering the flank of the main Wehrmacht force, now reinforced with another Volksgrenadier force. No further upgrades for the riflemen. They could get grenades that might work. On the other hand, we are seeing that CobrasFumenetes is shifting about. We are seeing that Paracaidistas is also laying down a bunker nicely. Riflemen taking a loss, joining the rest. Already interred within, and there we go. Rifleman trying to flank, but the bike rushes in, going to force them a bit about, and the Volksgrenadiers are going to move in as well. Rifleman already suffering heavy losses, still not a single loss to the Wehrmacht, to the brave boys of the Leibstandarte. Rifleman taking heavy losses, bunker cancelled. Rifleman squad moving up to hit again. Losing ground out. Looking a bit grim for CobrasFumenetes, not a good initial engagement. He is losing quite a bit of men. without actually causing a single casualty to the Wehrmacht. That is considerably less good. In fact, so far the casualty rate seems to be about 7 men without getting a single kill in return. Although it looks like the back... Oh! Paracaidistas made a mistake and he lost himself the bike. Flamethrowers moving in, pushing in off a good assault. Fullscreen is bursting into flames, and there we go. Successfully making an assault, but the bunker is also up by the strategic point. Pioneers rushing into it. Not necessarily the best place to hide. Pioneer, los! Rückzug! And meanwhile, the Pioneers here fighting against the Jeep. They are not doing too well either. Looks like Paracaidistas is taking a beating on every front. At the same time, a third squad of Fullscreens arrive. Going to counter-attack. Flamethrower units going to place himself in the way to burn out the Hun. While other forces are reinforcing as swiftly and smartly as possible. And the MD4 are actually taking the fuel point down there. Medic bunker up for Paracaidistas, actually. Not a bad idea considering the sort of aggressive play he's got. And you've got 3 Fullscreen squads, so clearly, I mean, Paracaidistas is planning something. He could be going for a defensive. That's not uncommon either. Also note, sandbags nearby. Again, really? He's really got something planned. That's nice to see, by the way. So far, we're not seeing much else. But a medic bunker and that much infantry, a good combination. Definitely going to help keep losses down. And of course, CobrasFumenetes could consider medic station perhaps in the marketplace, or perhaps right here's a nice spot as well. But we are seeing a nice Wehrmacht push into the center. 3 Volksgrenadiere und eines MG42. It looks like we're seeing some barbed wire being laid down to cover the approaches. He could also have wired this off so they couldn't actually use the cover there. I mean, that's also another way you can use barbed wire, not just to make it harder for your opponent to move, but also to make it considerably hard for him to even take cover. That is always something to consider. Kriegberg's going up. We are seeing a motor pull up for CobrasFumenetes as well. He is a bit short of infantry, partly due to the Jeep, but the Jeep is alive. The bike is no more. It is a wreck.
Light vehicles may now advance and capture territory.
And we're actually seeing armored doctrine up for CobrasFumenetes pretty early on. And he's actually going in a way so he can actually take points. This is interesting. This is novel. Well, not novel, but certainly rare. Which I suppose could also be novel. And we are seeing further fortification work right here by the cafe. Sandbagging up this gap there and wiring it off. You could also consider wiring off the other walls of the cafe. But apparently he decides against it. And there we go, rushing the Jeep up to take the munitions. Definitely the rarer use of the armored doctrine. But that is not to say it is a bad thing, partly because the Jeep can also much quicker escape usually if handled well. Flamethrowers up. Clearly CobrasFumenetes is preparing for some sort of all-out assault.
Just give me a rifle, 1 round, and point me at Berlin.
And could this be it? There we go, rifleman pushing in. We are probably going to see an armor car on the way. There we go. And inspired assault up for Paracaidistas. Inspired assault. And he's actually bombing into the church to get off some shots here, although of course he should be careful. His troops will be a bit easier to hit, of course. He will fire faster. And again, slight detail here. There's only 1 window, so not really the most effective usage. Other squads are moving up. Volksguns are quickly abandoning the church. And there we go. It wears off. But Terror Doctrine, and he's actually using Inspired Assault. Mine's going down there, by the way. Very nice. Armored car arrived, and the pack has also arrived from the Kriegbergs, but it's a bit off. There we go, armor car could set off a nice flanking assault. Engineers could get into the building, by the way, and fire down on the engineers right next to the house. Armor car pushes in, breaks through the flank protection wire, and there we go, 50 caliber popped up as well. The Volkswagen is going to get pushed back. Another huge setback from Paracaidistas. He should have saved the, I think, the inspired assault perhaps for this. Armor car pushes forward and hits a mine! Hits a mine, damaging the engine right in front of the Volkswagen. Panzerfaust quickly pulled out and knocks out the armor car, finishes the job, forces a full retreat though from the Wehrmacht. Clear the Leibstandard, realised they could not fight this one perhaps. And going out for a straight assault on the medic bunker. rather viciously and straightforward. What shall be next from the Krieg barracks, I wonder? And another armoured car quickly coming up for CobrasFumenetes to replace the one lost. Jeep following up. Oh, taking a point, but the pack gets it. Very nicely done, but let's go look at Paracaidistas, who has gone for inspired assault, setting up my MG42, but I fear the medic bunker will be lost. And then the MG42 gets the engineers, not quite killing anyone. It looks like Grenadier Squad arrives, and veterans are up as well. Points are being secured in the name of Uncle Sam. No mines from Paracaidistas largely, but then again he's focusing clearly on inspired assault, and of course needs some munitions for that, so will be interesting to see how that one works out. One squad quickly retreating, perhaps sensing something, or perhaps smelling all the sauerkraut. Ahaha. Volkswagen's going to attack with support from the Grenadiers. Opening up on the Rifleman, nice position there. Rifleman quickly dropping. They have managed to cut it off. There will be a bit of a temporary matter as the Wehrmacht pushes on pretty quickly. Rifleman going to get pushed back. Another bunker going up. And if he is going to be sort of relying heavily on inspired assault, I mean, a medic bunker is probably not going to be a bad idea because it will produce higher casualties on this in some cases. So in that sense, having a medic bunker sort of support this much infantry with inspired assault usage is actually a pretty clever combination. Salvaging the armor car could also salvage the Jeep, by the way. That would definitely give him more munitions for inspired assaults and for the medic bunkers and mines if he so desires. Moving a bit over here, the Wehrmacht making a good counter-attack. Looks like the armored car was actually cancelled by CobrasFumenetes. Now go engineers moving up, going in for the Grenadiers. Looking a bit grim, but there we go. The Grenadiers are quickly gaining control of the situation, and the engineers are quickly pushed away. Although Hans catches on fire, and sadly, jumping into the river does not help. Second medic bunker up. Wire going down there. And looks like... oh! Browning automatics instead for CobrasFumenetes. He could, of course, also have considered perhaps some Shermans by going up for the tank depot. Another Grenadier squad arrives from Paracaidistas. Small engagement up here, and the Volksgrenadiers are the ones worse off and are quickly run off. And a Pioneer squad runs into quite the ambush. Pulling up for an assault right here. Wehrmacht advances. Could we be seeing an inspired assault usage? Pulling up behind the tree for a bit of light cover. Pulls away, pulls away. Looks like he might be trying to draw in CobrasFumenetes towards the mine or something else. MG42 sets up. Volkswagen though taking heavy damage, and there we go, full assault moving in, attacking the flank of the MD, and there's nothing to cover it, no wire, no mines, but the Wehrmacht infantry arrives. Huge infantry fight going on here. What shall happen, what shall happen? And inspired assault goes off, the engineer squad is down. The fighting continues, and the riflemen out in the open are quickly taking heavy losses. The Wehrmacht needs to stay behind heavy cover, otherwise they can in fact outgun the Americans, and there we go. Within the cemetery there are heavy losses, 10 kills for one Grenadier squad already, and the riflemen the losses being inflicted, and there we go, grenade as well. Kills 2 Americans outright. Absolutely brutal fight right there against the Americans. All thanks to inspired assault. What looked like a decent assault from the Americans all of a sudden ran into an inspired effort from the Wehrmacht as the righteous fury struck down the Americans. And now the engineer squad might follow in the shoes. And there we go, another inspired assault in the hopes of finishing it off. But the engineers were able to escape this time around. But that was bloody well close. Observation post going up there, and we are seeing tacking up so clearly. Paracaidistas is planning something a bit more armoured. And of course, the question is, will CobrasFumenetes go for some armor himself? Wying off there a bit. Grenadiers are a bit beaten up. Veterans 1, of course, will provide with a bit of first aid capabilities, a bit of band-aids. Advancing up the west as well, using some lighter forces. More wire going down. Further attempts at making it harder for the Americans to move, and we're actually seeing a straight attempt at the battle phase. Panzer Grenadiers going to get pushed back. Flamethrower engineers moving in, although the BAR in the church is definitely helping out. Volkswagen's fighting up north as well. And look, oh, the engineer squad went down this time, but there are more engineer squads rushing in. Riflemen outmaneuvering the entire position. MD-42 setting up by the cafe. One grenadier squad on the retreat. And there we go, inspired assault, increasing their firepower overall. Riflemen right here take a beating. And up north as well, they get pushed off as well by the Volksgrenadiers, moving in to flank. Really impressive use of inspired assault, which either causes huge losses to CobrasFumenetes or just outright forces him to quickly retreat. And flanking up by hits a mine. Panzer Command almost done. And so far there is very little from CobrasFumenetes who can actually stop something like that. Riflemen taking losses. The Volksgrenadiers a bit on the wrong side of things though. They are quite out in the open. They're quite exposed. The craters will help a bit, but ultimately, oh, the MD-42 staying up in the medic bunker, but they have flamethrowers. Riflemen moving up. There we go, opening up in the riflemen by the way, pushing them off, but the flamethrower, oh, burns out the MG straight into the arms of the riflemen who just execute the last gunner. At the same time, a smaller force flanks about the Volksgrenadiers. The lighter infantry goes in, cuts off the access to the munitions. And the Panzer Command is going up first. SS going to call in some SS Panzers. And the Volksgrenadiers were forced off there by the Rifleman squad, taking considerable damage on the retreat. And Veterans 1 for these Riflemen. Fighting up here. Volksgrenadiers going to get pushed off as well from there. Engineers holding up the centre. Not a lot of mines from CobrasFumenetes, which you could consider. And a full Grenadier assault with a bit of Browning automatic firepower to assist them. And now we go, another inspired assault. Again, quickly winning the situation over. Ults up here as well, but again, you have to be careful. Your troops will also become easier targets besides the other bonuses, which involve basically shooting faster and doing more damage. But the Panzer Command is up. The pack is actually not advanced much further, but again, there's not really been a lot of vehicles or armor from CobrasFumenetes, which overall begs the question, why did he then go for armor? Why did he go for armor? But the Grenadier squad gets reformed, giving him 6 infantry squads. North offensive regaining steam, and my apologies right there, apparently the game crashed, if you noticed something. We are seeing a quick shift from the Grenadiers after they recapture this area. Squad reformed, definitely going to help out. Paracaidistas and the Lapstandarte. Formed from Hitler's bodyguard units. Well, first of them, in fact, there were several bodyguard units in the later stage of the war that were actually formed into full assault units, and in the end, their own divisions. 2 of them, in fact, fought in the Ardennes. Well, in fact, I think 3 of them, including the first SS, did. The 2 of them were first as brigades. So, fun little facts there. Rifle engineers are pushing up. Volksgrenadiers taking damage. Rifle lining up for something there. Greyhound out, and of course we are aware that there's a Panzer Command up, so I do fear CobrasFumenetes might have bet on the wrong horse right here. That is a armoured car, shaped 1. And again, he will be very much open towards any sort of armour. In fact, he's going to get hit by a Panther. It's not going to be as effective against infantry initially as, say, you know, a Panzer IV, but it's definitely going to be quite the headache. Counterattack from the Volksgrenadiers in the north. Pack moving up support. Quickly taking up position by the cafe. And again, inspired assault. Riflemen taking some shots as well. Volkskriegsguard squad, though, lost in the north, and again, that's something you have to be careful about. It can win your fight, it can also lose your fight if you are not careful about it. And generally, when you're making an inspired assault, you should generally be one using cover. I mean, if you're standing out in the open, you're very likely to get cut down in your prime. So again, use cover. That means inspired assaults, you know, if you're using it offensively, again, has to be a slightly more considered assault. But again, it can be used to really, you know, mess up things for your opponent if you move correctly. Oh, the anti-tank is not pointing correctly, and medic is going to suffer for that. There we go, medic dead. Panzerfaust and anti-tank gun. I think CobrasFumenetes might be a bit too bold, but there we go. Panzerkampfwagen 5 moving out. Panzer. He is hiding here. Observation post 4 CobrasFumenetes as well. Interesting. Only one supplied upgrade though. Armor cart takes quite a few hits. Panther rolling out.
The enemy has 300 points.
Minor engagement down south, and the Pioneers could in fact end up losing that one. And let us return to CobrasFumenetes, and the Pioneers did not make it home. Panther pushes through, ruining one of the telephone poles. Rifleman down. Panther rolls in a bit recklessly, Paracaidistas needs to be careful. Rifleman though takes a hit, and we're actually seeing now an anti-tank and up for CobrasFumenetes. He's finally got some anti-tank fire, and Veterans E2 now quickly increasing the anti-infantry capabilities of the Panther by adding an MG on top. Armor car rolls 4, but this is very, very risky play by the Greyhound, knowing there is a Panther. And the Greyhound takes a direct hit. Rifleman moving up, straight into the line of fire of the Panther. And all of the attendant Volkskriegsguards and Grenadiers. And the Riflemen certainly take a few losses. And currently, CobrasFumenetes is a bit tied up. 2nd Infantry Division not doing too well. Running into a bit of issues here and there. Then he is, takes a direct hit. And looks like CobrasFumenetes is bringing something in. He figures might cheer up his men. The Calliope has arrived. And the Greyhound blows up a crate just for the hell of it. And there we go. Calliope delivering a payload of rockets to soften up the German lines by the market square. Doing a bit of damage, killing a single Grenadier. But that's about it, really. Just leaving a lot more cratered terrain, which will actually make it harder for his armor to move through, and of course make it easier for the Germans to defend a bit. Of course, also gives his troops a nice manage to advance as well. So there is that as well. Rifleman moving up, anti-tanker needs to be a bit there, and I think he needs a tank depot. He needs some tank destroyers.
Krauts are grabbing our territory.
More on the way from the Panzer Command. Not advancing. Panther advances as well. Misses though.
Supply lines are broken. We have territory out of supply.
But there we go. MG gets some poor parcel. Never mind. And inspired assault again as the engineers move up from the Grenadiers inside the house. The ones inside the house are being a bit threatened by the flamethrowers. Volkskriegsguards up front also taking heavy losses. The Grenadiers retreating. Anti-tank and advancing. A successful assault by CobrasFumenetes breaks the front line, leaving behind only the Panther to really contain everything. Right in front of the anti-tank gun, takes a nice hit. At the same time, though, an Austrian flak panzer moves out. Quickly ties up the advance in the center. Another Grenadier squad moves up. And the Panthers quick to regroup with a squad of Volkskriegsguards, providing it with some infantry support. And the infantry makes a beeline straight for the Panther. Might try to feign it with a attempted with just a pretend sticky bomb, or he does actually have a sticky bomb. By the looks of it, it's just an imaginary one that is a dirty sock filled with a bar of soap. And the riflemen instead end up taking quite some damage. Pioneers seem to have arrived on the scene. Anti-tank are moving up. Calliope follows up as well.
Armored operation.
And using the Greyhound for a bit of harassment behind enemy lines. Clever play there by CobrasFumenetes.
Sector.
And he is certainly not to be deterred. He could also try and cut off some resources here with his Greyhound. Even perhaps mining. In fact, he's got a ton of munitions. It's a bit of a shame he actually never mined, in particular when he actually held this area. Could have made it very much difficult for Paracaidistas and the 1st SS to advance. Rockets going in there. Nice hit. Almost takes out an entire squad of Volksgrenadiers. But Heinz goes on in the remembrance of his comrades in arms. And now the Greyhound is in a bit of trouble. Getting a bit cordoned off by the Wehrmacht. We'll need to try and escape. And right in front of the armoured car, he makes the run. Propaganda war stops the rifle squad from assaulting the Volksgrenadiers and preventing the munitions from being seized. Looks like the Greyhound actually successfully makes a getaway. And I wonder what resources are being expended on them. We've got another anti-tank gun. Panther quickly pulling back. Nice hit. 7 kills so far for the Panzerkampfwagen 5. 8 kills. Certainly doing well in the name of the fatherland. 18 and 17 kills from these grenadiers respectively. Doing quite nicely. And a Panzer IV now rolls out for the fatherland. Panther takes a direct hit in the flank. And there we go, the Panzer IV quickly moves in to flank the anti-tank gun. Panther continues to take hits. There we go, Panzer IV takes a nice hit from a high explosive round, killing one of the gunners. Riflemen though are quick to force away, and the Panthers are quickly on the retreat. At the same time, the Grenadiers supported by an Ostwind move up the centre. Greyhound though might have that under control. Now the anti-tanker moves up, and we are seeing the Calliope advancing as well. Oh dear, Ostwind needs to be careful. 4/6. Anti-tank gun opens up. And there we go. Hit connects. Panther's rear is exposed to fire from the Panther. Even the Greyhound gets off a shot that penetrates the armor. Grenadiers assaulting up, trying to get behind the anti-tank gun positions. Ostwind moves up, takes a direct hit. Calliope unleashing a storm of rockets. Several hits connect with the Panther, damaging it severely. Ostwind almost down as well. The Grenadiers have managed to clear out the riflemen on the flank of this position. And there we go, Ostwind down. Veterans is free for Paracaidistas Panzers, protecting him against sticky bombs. But that's about it. And the Greyhound is on the hunt. The prowl. Panther gets it. But the armoured car, in a last heroic sacrifice, fires a 37mm round right into the engine block, setting the entire thing ablaze. Quite a hero. There's definitely a Medal of Honor, posthumous of course, in store right there. Riflemen though coming under heavy fire. Grenadiers doing what they can. Panzer IV, the only thing really to hold the line after the loss of a Panther and an Ostwind. Grenadiers providing a bit. Volksgrenadiers doing as well. 20 kills, 11 kills. Panzer IV fires away. CobrasFumenetes fighting his way back, clawing his way back. It's actually time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation. I mean, we just saw CobrasFumenetes sacrificing a bit, but he got the Ostwind, and he bloody well got the Panther. That's definitely going to hurt Paracaidistas a bit. He's also doing some damage to the infantry. And there's still no veterans too, so there's still a chance. But I think CobrasFumenetes, who's actually just gotten a supply yard, needs to get some armor. He needs some tanks. He needs some tank destroyers to push against Paracaidistas. He also needs to consider sticky bombs and grenades for his riflemen. And I think he also needs to consider getting up Pershing as bloody well as soon as possible. Paracaidistas though is holding on, but he just took some losses. But he still has a nice infantry force, partly thanks to the medic bunker certainly keeping things down. Partly, I suppose, by some clever uses of inspired assault here and there. More veterans are on the way, though. But for now, he needs to hold this while he builds up for a new offensive and needs to sort of push through here. And, of course, for CobrasFumenetes, one of the tricks is going to be keeping that Calliope alive and basically getting off as many bad ideas and hopefully killing as many Krauts as possible. And veterancy 1 for both engineer squads. That's actually quite impressive. And certainly nothing to complain about. There we go, another Calliope barrage right into the town square. Might even wreck the Ostwind's wreck, ensuring that the Wehrmacht cannot salvage it. But no, the rockets fail to do anything. Infantry here might seek some cover, or at least establish their own heavy cover. Rather than moving in, could try and recruit that anti-tank, which was actually decrewed. For shame. There we go, another assault up the flank, rushing straight into the engineers, the veteran engineers, and there we go, the Wehrmacht's Volksgrenadiers quickly burst into flames, even the Grenadiers though. Really nasty damage there from the veteran engineers. Nasty stuff. Panzer IV though is still there to hold the center, and another Greyhound. I do think that one was a mistake. And we're actually seeing demo charges now for CobrasFumenetes. He might be trying to clear out this bit. But he's going to need something to send off the Panther, and something perhaps a bit more mobile than anti-tank guns. But he is making the push. He needs, though, to cover the anti-tank gun. And there we go, Propaganda Wall pushing away the infantry a bit too close there for CobrasFumenetes. Panzer IV takes a direct hit to the rear. Another hit, almost down to half health. Pioneers pulling away. Mine engagement up here. The Grenadiers still veterans. 2 now outnumbering the riflemen quite severely. Volksgrenadiers holding out in the cemetery. And the town is certainly becoming a bit more of a ruin as time passes on. And taking those swift to pull away. That's good. Demo charge is almost done. Still would like to see a tank depot, not a dank depot. That's an entirely different game, though which game, I don't know. Let's go look at Paracaidistas. Very close to being able to call in the King Tiger, and certainly there has been a shift in Wehrmacht's strategic approach in terms of doctrines, or, you know, what some might call meta game. It used to be a lot of, you know, defensive doctrine. In fact, we're seeing another inspired assault. Doing quite nicely, and the rifles... No, the engineers went down again. Veterans are free. Oh, that's definitely going to make it easier to hold off with the inspired assault. And there we go, one Grenadier squad with 30 kills! Got him! 32 kills! Got him! Himmel! They're practically Ritzerkreuzträger! Except they don't have assault rifles, but... still, definitely closer to being in reality. Panzer IV rolls forwards again. No, nicely repaired. Once more. And veterans 2 there. Anti-tank opens up. But as I was saying, there's a greater focus now on terror doctrine than defensive doctrine. There tends to be these sort of shifts, you know, like how there used to be a lot of airborne, then it shifted towards infantry, then a lot of armor, then a lot of infantry again. But it's a bit rarer with the Wehrmacht that you actually see this sort of shift from defensive to terror sort of being the primary doctrine used. Which is actually quite interesting. I mean, it's partly probably because of the King Tiger, of course, being a rather tasty treat at the end.
We're losing territory.
But we're also seeing, you know, not just using King Tigers, but in this case, actually some pretty good use of inspired assault. You know, really impressive, something to learn from. But also, you know, we've seen other players, you know, use Firestorm and V1 rockets greatly without even touching the King Tiger. So, I mean, it's quite interesting, and it's probably because, you know, once players realize that Terror, for example, does have a lot more usability directly and a better chance of coming back, then Terror, you know, there's supposed this sort of shift. Because, again, King Tiger. I imagine we won't be seeing the King Tiger if we return to Company 2 in quite the same form. But nonetheless, holding things up greatly, and there we go, though, King Tiger arriving, Königstiger. Panzer IV push forward again, hoping to catch the engineers out in the open. Nice hit there from Heinz. It's a Panzer IV commander and gunner. Well, not the commander and gunner. That would be a Soviet tank. But using it a bit more as a sort of flank protector, sneaking in some shots here and there, quickly pulling out. Americans trying their best to hold up, but again, I mean, if he holds one area, then quickly Paracaidistas moves in and secures another part. So definitely some issues there. Medic bunker still standing, and the pioneers found themselves rushed off by the flamethrower, die Flammenwerfer. Run, Heinz! We only have a minesweeper! Still no tank depot from CobrasFumenetes. And there we go, central victory point secured by the Americans. Oh, engineer squad just about to lay down the mine, and the King Tiger appears, scores off one amazing hit. And sticky bomb on the King Tiger. And we are seeing a Calliope barrage, but it misses the King Tiger. I think that's an absolute miss there. He should have unleashed a full barrage, but at the same time, Grenadiers flanked without Panzerschrecks. Probably because he's been expending so much munitions on the Spider Assault and such that he hasn't actually had resources to upgrade his Grenadiers. And perhaps, a single Panzerschreck or MG might have also benefited there. Grenadier Squad number 1 pushed away. Suppressive fire from the riflemen, doing nicely. And recruiting the anti-tank gun, but the King Tiger managed to really devastate one squad. Comes under fire again. Grenadiers still providing nice support. Might clear out the anti-tank gun quickly. Fighting continues to brew in the center. Riflemen taking heavy losses. Flanking the Grenadiers by using the wreckage of the armored car. And again pushing up with the now more solid force up north to harass. Paracaidistas is everywhere. And looks like a rifle squad goes down. Inspired Assault pops off. Actually, having these folks as a bit more easy targets. It looks like CobrasFumenetes will be forced to divert, and rockets firing straight through the house. Not all of them actually making it through. Seems a bit careless. But sir, there's a house in the way. Who cares? It's probably a crowd house anyways. We're in France. Shut up. This isn't the US Army way. The US Army way is just firing through anything. And the propaganda war quickly stops. You probably should have spread out the troops a bit better. But going down with some sandbags to provide some defensive positions, which of course will require the Americans to divert a larger force to take this point as well. Victory points are quickly ticking down for Paracaidistas, CobrasFumenetes. It was down to less than 100 points.
Grenadier reporting territory captured. Report. Field repairs complete.
Riflemen pushing up. More sandbags going down, but will it be in time? No, it won't. They're quickly pulling up to the other position already prepared with barbed wire, though they split up a bit. Not quite working, but there we go. Riflemen advancing, of course. They do take some damage. Grenades up, actually, now from CobrasFumenetes. The riflemen can still take losses, but ultimately the force is too much for the brave boys of the Wehrmacht. Grenadier squad tries to flank about. And Steiner is dead. No.
Forward supply lines are broken.
30 caliber laid down. CobrasFumenetes digging in. Not one step back, he says. That perhaps realizing that he's not Soviet. And another rocket barrage, sending a storm of them flying. Oh, killing several false Grenadiers, almost taking out an entire squad. He might actually want to consider laying up a machine gun emplacement right here, since that is where he won't be having as many as his forces, so that would be a good move. If in particular force Paracaidistas to send off a greater force and then take it back, so here would be a better spot for a machine gun emplacement rather than here, where again he's anyways going to be having the larger part of his force. Plus again, it's going to be a bit tempting to just launch in one bloody huge rocket. Ow! Engineers advancing up, and one hit from the King Tiger just sends them to Kingdom Come. Quickly repairing the bunker. Grenadiers and King Tiger fighting against the Rifle Stick Grenade. Oh dear, Larry. I thought you said you didn't throw like a sissy, but apparently he did. Definitely going to get a chewing out there from the Sarge. Grenadiers and Foskers going to move against the Riflemen. More infantry pushing up here as well. 28 kills. 7 and 35 kills on that one squad of Grenadiers. And the Foskers haven't done too badly either. Another anti-tank gun, might be another one on the way. Still would have liked to see something like a tank depot from CobrasFumenetes. Would have been wondrous. And another Calliope barrage. Churning up this entire area, damaging the bunker a bit. And there we go, Panzer IV diverted to flank mission, and looks like he is saving the yet to set up a machine gun emplacement to cover this area. Panzer IV though might be on a mission to clear out the Calliope. Greyhound again from CobrasFumenetes. And gets itself a Panzer surprise. Panzer Faust connects. Bit of a standoff at the moment. Who shall be the victor? Who shall be the one that breaks it? Likely though, I mean, Paracaidistas considering all the heavier armor. Yes, in fact, all of the armor. Again, CobrasFumenetes, the closer he has as a Calliope, and again, that's not really a tank. Not with this thing, which means basically can't shoot the gun without this entire thing was rolled off. It was actually designed to basically just pop this thing off so it quickly could turn into a tank combat, but apparently they rather figured it should just function as artillery. Oh, sneaky, sneaky demo charge on the sandbags. Pulling up behind it, come on, notice it, please, please. Oh, demo charge just takes out 2 squads. That's great usage of a demo charge. Absolutely great, sneaky, devious, and absolutely wrecks apart quite a sizable infantry force from the 1st SS Leibstandarte. Panzer IV gets off a nice, wonderful kill, if there's anything as that. And a grenade, and a grenade. Grenadiers dodge it. A bit quiet, and an observation post up here, really lining up for something heavy. Panzer IV quickly retreating. Looks like CobrasFumenetes is trying to tighten the noose. But now we're actually seeing a half-track up with the rockets, the Stukas zu Fuß. Mainly held though for the Panzer Pioneer units, this sort of rocket thing was.
We have a secured sector under attack.
Well, that and the Panzer Brigades, but they didn't really fight in Normandy.
They're hitting one of our forwards.
And there we go, machine gun emplacements up again. CobrasFumenetes digging in. He could consider some tank traps or some mines or something, or for example a demo charge here as well.
They're hitting one of our forwards.
But he needs to prepare something a bit more, or a medic station to sort of pick up losses. But again, you know, mines, tank traps, the likes can do an effort.
They're hitting one of our
Grenades getting locked.
trying to take our territory.
King Tiger getting hit. And is he actually diverting his anti-tank gun away? No, he's going to pull it back for reinforcements. But that could give Paracaidistas time to break through, since there will be a less anti-tank defenders holding up here. Greyhound mine that. He could actually lay down some more there. And Grenadiers on the retreat right past everything. Looks like, though, Paracaidistas and the 1st SS are preparing the assault. Grenadiers and Foskers leading the way. 30 caliber opening up. And a Grenadier squad here. And Calliope barrage going off to try and contain the Germans. And we could see another Grenadier squad go down for Paracaidistas. Will it set off the mine? No, quite far away of it. Anti-tank gun cleared out. This is probably the starting signal. Grenades getting knocked at the Germans. And there we go, full retreat. Rifling coming under fire from the King Tiger. There we go, recruiting. And the King Tiger's taking several hits. He should have waited with the Calliope until it appeared and then fire at it. And he needs some rifling up to sticky bomb it. We're seeing tons of pioneers moving up to repair it again. Calliope would have been nice to fire at it. Instead, Paracaidistas is able to much more safely pull away. But Paracaidistas is actually starting to run a bit out of infantry. Down to just 3 squads, which definitely means CobrasFumenetes has been doing alright. He's in fact got 5 squads. No medic station. A bit more infantry than I'd like to see trained that way. Panzer IV quickly pulling up for a flank. Using the armoured car for a bit of harassment. Rifle squad could try and sneak up here and take the point. That would be an actually clever move. More half-track rockets flying off. Another Calliope battle. I imagine he's there to try and knock out the bunker, but again, he might want to get into something to help deal with the... Oh dear. The King Tiger's advances, and the Greyhound goes down to the Panzer IV. Pershing prepared. It had actually been ready to see service for some time, but it was only brought in after the whole Battle of the Bulge. Until then, it rather hadn't seen service at all. There were definitely some problems within the United States Ordnance Department, or whatever it's called, to sort of figure out where things were going or what was meant to happen. Lots of rockets landing, hitting, killing. And there we go, Pershing is actually out.
We're losing ground out there.
Rifleman squad seems to be forgotten down there. And now, of course, Paracaidistas is aware of what's going on. We also see him actually pulling in a mortar to provide some more constant artillery support for the assault. Nice move right there. Panzer IV, they're going to get hunted down. Gunner killed. Pershing quickly pulling up. Pushing the advance. And a Calliope barrage, but of course, using the house very intelligently to actually cover against artillery on the on-map kind. Really nicely handled there by Paracaidistas, of course, using the half-tanks to clear out the machine gun emplacement right there. And now the King Tiger, we're seeing the Pershing actually flank about on its own. It's trying to get the half-tanks, but run straight into an anti-tank gun, which is veterancy free, giving it a damage bonus. My goodness, and of course also benefits the half-tracks. And there we go, half-track is down. He just remains in front of it. I'm not entirely sure what CobrasFumenetes is trying. BAR seems to have been dropped. Grenadiers move up to cure it. King Tiger taking hits. Pershing flanks, but needs to get out of there. This is not a good position for it. Not a good position. All Grenadiers being able to flank one of the anti-tank guns. And the pack gets the kill. Calliope might want to see if we can't fire some shots in here. Apparently not. The remaining half-tank instead though at, and so does the mortar. Die Granatenwerfer. Turning the center into a gruesome hellscape. And there we go, finally it arrives, taking out several of the pioneers, but at the same time Grenadiers are breaking through everywhere and trying to make a run for the northern victory point, but the 30 caliber is there. Opens up and suppresses and damages. Another Pershing moves up. King's Hike is actually a bit damaged if he was able to get off some good shots with it. Pack, they're moving up, and there we go. Pershing charges ahead. Mortar opens up. Panzer IV arrives on the scene. And German infantry moving up on the far flank alongside the veterancy fleet pack. Oh dear. Pershing makes a mistake and turns the rear armor towards the enemy. Grenades getting locked. CobrasFumenetes seems to be losing steam. Heavily and inspired assault quickly finishes off the rifleman squad without mercy. Without any mercy at all.
Sector being captured.
40 kills from one of the Grenadier squads. Bloody impressive, bloody impressive. And a V1 rocket. The Vengeance rocket, and just as the Calliope fires. And a Panther moves up for the flank. Veteran 2 for the Calliope, but... oh dear. And the Calliope is lost, and the Panther follows through. Oh, the devastation wrought upon the 2nd Infantry Division. Panther might want to consider not exposing the rear to the anti-tank gun, though. Anti-tank gun arriving, rifle moving up. Another rear hit on the Panther. Pershing also opening up a bit. Panther almost down, in fact. But a swift barrage from the half-track quickly sends the American infantry scarpering back as several of their men turn to flame, turn on fire, whatever, and die horribly. Returning to Paracaidistas and the 1st SS, they fight on, though they have certainly taken some losses. And the Panther definitely had not really seen much usage. At least not this one. Another Calliope is being pulled up. Firing this time through the church. Not really getting much usage out of his Calliopes in some ways. Panzer IV's actually in a bit of trouble. And the rocket half-track just keeps on firing. The Stukatzerfuss. House on fire. Ready to collapse. Smaller force moving in there. Still the machine gun emplacement in the way. So not entirely sure what he intends for it to be gone. Another bunker up for the Wehrmacht to repair. And the mortar keeps providing deadly support as well. Forcing away the Americans from the town, in fact. Pack creeping up, though I'm pretty sure we won't be seeing that in coming years too as well, since again there won't be units that can actually cloak out in the open. Incoming years too, including anti-tank guns. And a Calliope barrage straight on the Panzerabwehrkanone. And killing the crew. Another Grenadier squad though gets reformed. And the 40 kill Grenadiers finding another Grenadier squad trying to set up a defensive position but get assaulted by the riflemen. Veterans, free riflemen in fact. Actually doing quite a bit of damage. But will the Grenadiers, veterans who free themselves with a Browning automatic, be able to overcome the Americans? And looks like they in fact do. Impressively enough. In fact, due to inspired assault, they win the fight. Mortar joining in as well. And the riflemen advance straight into it all, and a propaganda war then suddenly saves the day. And looks like CobrasFumenetes realizes the fight is over and retreats. The assault from the 1st SS Panzer Division has been successful, although at a bit of a heavy cost, several panzers lost, including a Panther. But I mean, CobrasFumenetes fought well. His major problem was though a lack of his own armor. If he had bothered with a bit of his own armor, perhaps also machine gun emplacement up here earlier, he might actually have succeeded. with some tactics and whatnot, a bit more maneuverability. Plus his Calliope barrages were a lot just, trying to fire this bunker and knocking out, which failed. If he tried to coordinate with the King Tiger assaults, he might actually been able to do some more damage overall. And secondly, that Pershing assault down here was not really good. The winners of this fight was basically the German infantry with inspired assault. I mean, this squad, 40 kills. Another one had 30 or so kills before it got murdered, I think. And generally, I mean, the German infantry really managed a lot of kills thanks to inspired assault and good usage of it. Of course, several squads were lost of it as well. So, of course, that highlights that you do have to sort of be careful in your usage of inspired assault, or you might, run into problems. So there is that. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers, and feel free to follow me on Facebook or Twitter. And of course, comment on what you thought was interesting in this match.